The following is a presentation of TFNN. The Morning Market Kickoff with your host, Tommy O'Brien. Now, Tommy O'Brien.
Good morning, everybody. I'm Tommy O'Brien, coming to you live from TFNN Monday morning, 8:30 a.m., 60 minutes to go until that opening bell, and we got markets higher territory. NASDAQ right now actually negative. We got the NASDAQ 100 negative 35 points, trading at 11,898. The S&P is positive by 35 points, trading at 3616. How about the Dow? Up 483 points, 29,895. Where did we make it to this morning? 29,998 on the futures, 2 points shy of the all-time highs we got on the print on the last vaccine news this morning. We got Moderna out with pretty encouraging numbers, even better than Pfizer, you could say. Russell 2000 trading higher, up 2.2%, 1782. You see the flash spike high last Monday. I could get into doing this vaccine news every Monday morning before the market opened. That was last week. The S&Ps to back it up as well. There was your acceleration last week. Remember, we gave it all up and then some by the end of Monday. We're now right back in kind of the middle of that range in the S&P. You take a look at where we are on the Dow, right up there near the highs. The Russell, as we covered, not quite to the flash high. We got at 1815, and the NASDAQ 100, for some context, that had some trouble last Monday. We're lower. The lows of Tuesday, 11,503 for some of those tech stocks pulling back today. Jumping around to commodities, crude catching quite a bit on some encouraging vaccine news. Open up this economy back up. I'm sure airlines, cruise ships are accelerating higher. We'll jump into the Moderna news. Pretty encouraging news, definitely, across the board on Moderna. Okay, jumping around. And you know what, to my producers, I think you did the same thing with the stream. I'm having trouble seeing my charts. If you need to reset that, why don't you reset it? It's a bummer. We may have to reset that stream real quick. I don't know. Those charts are showing up the same way, fellas. I think you used the same settings. Why don't you just restart it right now for everybody so that they can see those charts nice and clear on the Tiger TV stream, because I can see how choppy it is, unfortunately. Okay, what else we have going on? Jumping around to the Moderna news. Pull up the screen. Okay, folks, pretty encouraging. It doesn't get much better. Just talking to friends, talking about humanity, the whole deal. You're talking about 94.5% effective. The battle here is we got to get these things produced. We got to get them for people to take them and feel that they're safe in taking them. You jump into this, it's even more encouraging than the 94.5. Last week, you had Pfizer was at about 90. This one's about 94.5. Now, what they get into is that you have 30,000 people. Moderna is dramatically higher, as you may expect. In terms of, I wanted to get into, so shot stability. The last one, what everybody talked about, is you needed almost sub-zero freezing, right, to keep the Pfizer vaccine stable. This one, not as much. You can store it in a refrigerator for up to 30 days. They were previously thinking it was 7 days. Just the logistics of that type of thing going on, a lot easier for it to travel around the country. And what they also get into is that I wanted to get into the care, because they talked about there were 11 cases of severe cases. And it may limit severe cases. It might not even be if you get it. If you get it, it might be a much more mild version. Also pretty important when you look at everything. All right, what else we got going on? Jumping around to different stocks. Moderna, they're going to be the story of the day. We still got earnings, though. We got Tyson after the bell, I think, tonight. We got Casper Sleep. They're out this morning. They lost 40 cents a share. Wider than the 33 the market was looking for. I see their ads on television all the time. The mattress and bedding makers' revenue came in short of estimates, hurt by COVID-related supply chain disruptions, right? Not about demand, talking about supply chain disruptions. CSPR is their symbol. And there you see the drop-off from 750 down to below 6. We're trading about 650 right now on Casper. Palo Alto Networks, they're out with their numbers. PANW $1.62 a share. Estimate was $1.33. Cybersecurity here. That is a good industry to be in right now for sure. Revenue topped estimates as well. Palo Alto raised its full-year earnings and revenue. The company saying product enhancements are boosting demand. It's a good time to be in cybersecurity when the whole world is jumping online. There's your pop from 260 to above 271 right now. Putting it on a daily for some context on this stock. We're basically over double. You're going to open at 270. The highs at 275. You're going to open about 271 on Palo Alto. So Walmart, in terms of surging cases of COVID, great vaccine news. In terms of the raw numbers right now of this virus spreading across the country and the globe, not good. You got Walmart. They're going to resume counting and monitoring the number of customers that they're allowing in their stores. They had stopped doing that for a period of time when the virus was not spreading. They're starting to take those precautions yet again. All right, so Caesars, they got a British billionaire. He's the largest stakeholder in William Hill, will back the planned $3.7 billion takeover of the company by Caesars. So they got the billionaire shareholder on board with Caesars taking over William Hill for $3.7 billion. Caesars up a little bit today. And then Uber. We got some Uber and Rocket equities and options. Uber here looks like they're interested in selling. It's an autonomous driving unit to self-driving car startup Aurora, according to multiple reports. Said to be ongoing, no certainty. You got Uber up this morning, but Uber's up this morning on the news of a vaccine, which is going to help Uber in a big way. They're trading at almost 49. The high of last week, 49.62. You see the consolidation this thing had from about 30 to the highs of 38 on 3 different occasions, in June, in September, and then in early October. We were up at $38 and change. This thing just blows right by it on the election with the California amendment, proposition, I should say, passing. And then you accelerate higher on the vaccine news. We're now basing at 49, and I think that's an all-time chart, right? We're talking about, right up to the all-time highs on Uber and Lyft. If you're interested, not as strong of a company, in my opinion. They're definitely second in class, and it's tough being second in class when the economy is so way down, and there you see it. We were up to 54 prior to COVID, and you're still sitting at about 39, whereas you just saw Uber. They're at all-time highs, basically where they have traded before for Uber. Some of the airlines, as you may imagine, putting it on a short term. Now look at this, though. That was the news of the first vaccine. Everyone learning a little bit. We're $12.24. We're up 60 cents. That's almost 5%. It's a big number, but not quite the move in American. The American was the weakest last week. Delta, right? Look at that. Delta up near the highs. Look at the difference in these airlines. Delta up near the highs, actually made it above the highs compared to a company like American. Quite a different story. United, much more like Delta, up near those highs that you've seen, domestically jumping around. JetBlue shares up almost near the highs as well, and we'll finish it with Southwest, 46.23. Expedia, their CEO, I got an article up for him, so they're up. Some context on this stock. Back above. I mean, remarkable. They come out with their earnings in early February, spiked to 123. A company like Expedia goes to 40, and we're back. We're going to open at 129, folks. We're going to be above. We're going to be at highs, right back where we were Monday for Expedia. Now, Expedia, where are we? Come on. That's a bummer. They were talking about, I thought I had it. Here we go. There we go. Mass tourism will be roaring back by summer, says Expedia CEO. Well, he's a biased individual, folks, but these vaccine news, they keep coming. It's a good deal. Hopefully that's the case by summer. It's November. 3-6 months, get them out, get them disseminated. People take that vaccine. We get over this thing. Stay tuned, folks. S&P is positive by 31. We'll be right back.
Many of our new listeners have heard about The Tiger's Den. The Tiger's Den is a lively community where professional traders and investors can meet, exchange ideas and information in a comfortable, moderated atmosphere. Hear all of the TFNN shows, plus see all of the charts as they happen live and have access to archives of all of those charts. You can test drive The Tiger's Den absolutely free for 30 days and greatly enrich your knowledge of these markets and how to make your money work for you. Details on The Tiger's Den are on the front page of TFNN.com.
TFNN has launched our brand new website. You can still visit us at the same TFNN.com URL, but when you do, you'll see a new and improved homepage with a much simpler navigation, whether you're watching Tiger TV live in high definition or just accessing your newsletter subscriptions. We even have new pricing in 6 months and yearly options. Check out the new TFNN.com now and experience all the upgrades. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Hi, folks. This is Tom O'Brien. The printing presses are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. The U.S. deficit has risen 200% in 1 year with no end in sight. The markets are looking for an additional stimulus bill to get us through this once-in-a-generation pandemic. There is no free lunch, folks. The more stimulus dollars put into the marketplace, the less your dollar is worth each and every day. This is the time to protect yourself with a portion of your portfolio in the metal market. The Gold Report comes out each Monday morning. I bisect and dissect the dollar, silver, gold, the XAU, and the HUI. The Gold Report is a long-term hedge against the dilution of your buying power. The U.S. has put more than $6 trillion into the marketplace in the last 6 months, with more expected in the next few months. The market did and does need the stimulus, but it will have long-term implications on our buying power. The Gold Report comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. Go to TFNN.com and order the Gold Report now. Protect your buying power. Order the Gold Report now.
Are China A-shares hot or not? If you trade China A-shares, now may be time to take a closer look. Trade CHAU or CHAD, Directions Daily CSI 300 China A-share Bull and Bear ETFs. China A-shares in either direction. Visit directioninvestments.com today. An investor should consider the investment objectives, risks, charges, and expenses of the Direction shares carefully before investing. The prospectus and summary prospectus contain this and other information about Direction shares. To obtain a prospectus or summary prospectus, please contact Direction shares at 866-476-7523. The prospectus or summary prospectus should be read carefully before investing. An investment in the funds is subject to risk, including the possible loss of principal. The funds are designed to be utilized only by sophisticated investors such as traders and active investors. Distributor Foreside Fund Services, LLC.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com and hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com. Then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. Should be an interesting Monday. Should be an interesting week in the markets as we kick it off with some pretty exciting fundamental news out of the gate. Moderna. So we talked about Moderna with their news on their vaccine. Pretty encouraging news. Moderna shares, that was last week, right? We started seeing that Moderna came out and told the public that they had enough data that they were going to be able to release an interim study at some point in the near future. So that data coming out 89.39. You see the acceleration. We were just trading remarkably, right? You go back on last Monday, we were trading at 75. You ended 2 weeks ago at 71. We're going to open 100. 100. That's what is that? 40% almost from 70? Yeah. 40% almost from 70 in a period of almost 1 week on Moderna on their pop higher. Pretty dramatic there in a big way. Jumping around to the short term, and there you see the acceleration on the data release early this morning at about 7 a.m. You go from under 94 to above 105. You're sitting at about 100. Checking in on some of the other. Last week it was Pfizer. Pretty interesting. They got a competitor on the block, folks. Pfizer. Darts lower from 39.40. We're trading at 37.40, something like that, and change. Crude oil right now up $1.68, as I talked about. Let me see what kind of Fibonacci number I had in here. I guess that was a 50% retracement from the move we had last week. I'm just going to pull this off, though. Move it, put it back in the short term. So there you see the move higher on crude, 645 this morning. We were trading at 41. Actually makes it above 42 at one point, jumping back a little bit on that level. Gold contract pulling back a bit, off about $3. Gold trading lower on that number. Now, what you do have right now is we have bonds to jump around. A little bit of a lower price, you see that, but we're bouncing a bit off. We were under. We had a 137 in the handle in the 10-year. Right now, we're only off about 2 ticks. You deal with a yield of about 0.91% right now. It's jumping around a bit as we're getting some action on that 10-year. Down 3 ticks, right at 138 right now. The 30-year down 11 ticks at 171.27. Silver down 28 cents. You see the drop-off it had on Monday, backing gold up. Gold, you see the drop-off, quite the consolidation. It's got a little bit of a muted drop-off this morning. for that gold contract. Jumping over the VIX, as you may expect, this S&P charges higher. We finished last week with almost a 22 handle. Technically, I think we finished it at 23 and change. Yeah, about 23. What's the closing there? 23.13 to be exact. And we're currently sitting at 23.38. Actually, a little bit of an elevated VIX, which is interesting on the Maxine news. You get the S&P's up 30, the Dow up 424. Jumping around to Boeing. Boeing shares. Talk about a run this company has had from last week prior to the first vaccine announcement, 160. You're trading at about 194 right now for Boeing. Overnight, so Europe, DAX is up 1.1%, FTSE's up a full 2%. Asia, Nikkei's up a full 2%, Shanghai's up 1.1%. So big numbers across the board, Asia and Europe, as we look for our open in about 45 minutes. S&P's up 29. Some of the tech stocks, putting them on our radar in terms of what is trading lower. Amazon, pretty muted. $28 you're talking about, from $31.28 to $31.02. Microsoft shares, trading a bit, $218 to $214. Zoom's been one of the ones that suffered the most almost as we get good news of the economy opening back up from 403 to 386 on Zoom. What else? Work from home. How about the Direction ETF? We always are talking about, that's WFH, excuse me, Direction. Right now, 56.13. It's a wide bid ask. You see the volatility it had last week in a big way for sure. Our man Larry Pesavento might be calling in, folks. Larry, I love it. Call in. Let's go. Let's go. He's out there growling and prowling, of course, folks. The Bitcoin. How about Bitcoin? 16,585, 16,410. And checking around to some of the other equities that we have making moves. Morgan Stanley, they're talking about go risk on and trust the recovery. They're a little bit biased because they're in the industry. Everybody in the industry wants a good market. But in an outlook for 2021, recommend investors overweight equities and corporate bonds against cash and government debt and sell the U.S. dollar. Volatility set to decline, and investors should be patient in commodity markets. Well, we see that patience paying off in crude oil, right? In a big way. And that's, some of the stocks that I had put some of my subscribers into. Two of the earliest ones were Disney. And, the plan always was long-term positions. And I think we got in at about 118. Back here somewhere in maybe late July. And the plan was, you hold this until the world rights itself in a post-COVID environment. This stock was paying a big price, rightfully so, because they were tremendously hurt. They're in the parks business, the movie business, the movie production business, but they're also in the Disney Plus business. And they got 120 million subscribers now when you combine Disney, ESPN, Hulu, nonetheless. So that one, and a company like Uber in the same way, right? Be patient. You see the acceleration. They're building their food delivery business while the economy is shut down. They got no rides. The economy, as long as you have the patience in some of these equities to hold it, there's still some serious value. I mean, even a company like Disney, you were at 153 back in November. That is when Disney launched. For a quick timeline on Disney, okay, you're backing it up to April of last year, 2019. They tell the world the pricing structure of Disney. They tell the world basically just their plan. We're going to launch in November. We're going to undercut Netflix on price. The market goes, whoa, you're going to undercut Netflix. We love this idea. You're going to get, you're going for the masses at a low price. You're not going to try and do it for $20, et cetera, right? So you trade higher. You launch things in November. I think it was 10 million people in the first week, maybe 25 million in the first quarter. Things couldn't be going better in November. Nonetheless, you get back some of those gains, and then the drop-off in February was swift, folks. This is a weekly. And, man, over the course of 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks, you go from 140 to 79, and it's taken almost that time to get it back. But point being, when this business rights itself, you should have a value comparable to 143 plus some. Okay, you're going to have to make up for lost revenue, make up for lost profits, et cetera. There's definitely a lost year, or almost two. But you can see that the opportunities, when you were in the 110s, okay, and you were getting Disney at a price structure that was, you're talking about prior to even knowing what Disney was going to release. I mean, you're still at 138. And you go back to April of 2019, you were at 115, okay, and the world had no idea in terms of what was happening with Disney's price, numbers, et cetera. All right, and I think we got our man Larry Pesavento on the line. Larry, good morning, man.
Hey, Tom, how you doing? Listen, I'm taking the day off trying to put this new kit laptop together.
Perfect.
And
We
there's
got
a
Basil
really,
Chapman
really important
filling in
signal
for
I
you,
just posted into the room here today.
Okay,
All this
we got
stuff
it
that's
up,
going
Larry.
on, you'll notice that the NASDAQ was only able to make a 382 retracement last night. That's really quite negative, and it's already down about 50 handles from that level. So sort of pay attention. Maybe this stuff is maybe a little overdone today, but that's a really important one. Also, the gold is down quite a bit as expected, and we still think we're going to get down at least to the below the 1800 level sometime in the next few weeks. But I'll be back on tomorrow. Just want to give you a heads up on that NASDAQ because that could be very important. But also, if it goes above that 382, it's pretty bullish. So that's all I need to tell you.
Larry, we appreciate it, man. Get to
All
work
right,
on
see you
that
later.
laptop. Larry's going to Basil's going to be filling in for you next at 9 o'clock. And folks, I'll be right back after this. Thanks, Larry. Have a great day, man.
Back in the day, I joined Hotel California in 2006, and like many of you, was drawn in by, as well as...
Whatever you think about, you bring about. Whatever you focus on grows.
You see, I believe that everything in life happens for us, not to us. And Tom ignited the fire within me to want to learn how to master the markets. So how did I go from knowing nothing about technical analysis to becoming the #1 market timer for the S&P 500 in 2018 and the #2 market timer in 2019? Simply put, I hired coaches with a proven track record, which led me to a whole new set of tools that I created to interpret the message of buyers and sellers. I would love the opportunity to teach you this award-winning set of tools and to help you improve your market timing. You can test drive my newsletter service, Mastering Probabilities, for the next 30 days with no risk to you. Plus, you'll gain access to archive workshops that'll take you step-by-step through my system. Sign up today by going to the homepage of TFNN.com and selecting Mastering Probability in the newsletter tab.
If you haven't checked out the newsletters page of TFNN.com, what are you waiting for? All of the TFNN newsletters are informative, up-to-date, affordable, and a must-have for every trader looking to gain a competitive informational edge in today's markets. TFNN newsletters cover every aspect of the markets to offer you the very latest in market news. Plus, new subscribers get to test drive our newsletters risk-free for 30 days. From all aspects of the markets, including stocks, bonds, metals, commodities, and tech, there's a newsletter to fit your needs exclusively from TFNN. Stay informed each day you trade and get that competitive edge that will help you stay ahead of the game. Visit our newsletters page by going to TFNN.com and click the newsletters button near the top of the page. TFNN.com, educating investors.
Introducing Primal Edge.
Today, it's even more important to take a supplement that complements your health. Primal Edge is specifically formulated to boost your immune system and help with weight loss, better sleep, stress reduction, and the need to detox.
Our early ancestors found all their nutritional requirements in the wild environment. But today, our food sources don't contain the vitamins, minerals, and nutrients that we need to stay healthy and strong.
That's why we need Primal Edge Daily Nutrition. It includes a special blend of ionic, soil-based vitamins, minerals, fatty and amino acids in an easy-to-use liquid form.
Primal Edge is powered by highly concentrated humic and fulvic acids, nature's preferred delivery system. They've been called miracle molecules because, like sunlight, air, and water, without them, life cannot exist.
That's right, Ellen. They ensure we receive all the nutrition we need to be healthy and thrive. We take it every morning.
Primal Edge. Just $89 exclusively at TFNN.com.
Don't forget, you can listen to TFNN live on your mobile device 24 hours per day. Go to TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV. That's TFNN.com, then hit Watch Tiger TV for the latest market information.
Welcome back, folks. I got a chart of gold up here from 1890 to below 1865. We're clawing back a lot of those losses to 1882. Jumping back to that article I had up there from Morgan Stanley, some of the different calls they had in there: S&P 500 to 3,900. The 10-year Treasury yield 1.45%. They're looking for. They expect the dollar to weaken, and with a higher yield, you're going to be looking at a gold forecast of 1825 from 1950. 3,900 with a 1.45% yield. That would be nice. We're sitting right now at 3,600 and change with a yield of approaching 0.91% right now. All right, what else we got going on, folks? You just heard Larry Pezzavento. We got our man Basil Chapman. He's filling in for Larry next. He's coming up live from 9 till 10 o'clock. I'll be back at 10 o'clock with Tom. Fast Market at 11. Basil Chapman back at noon. Steve Rhodes, Dave White, Tom O'Brien all this afternoon. Thursday, Basil will not be doing his program because he's got a live workshop, folks, all day from 9 till 4:30 p.m. in the afternoon. Okay, he's going to be in there. Technical tools based on the Chapman Wave methodology explained live, a detailed all-day online course. 9 a.m. he kicks things off. You got a segment 9 till 9:30, going over the markets before it opens. 9 till noon, a 3-hour session. I'm sure there'll be a break in there, here and there, but a 3-hour session. You take a break for lunch. You come back at around 1 till 4, a second 3-hour session in the afternoon. You finish it all up with a half hour from 4 till 4:30. Review, prepare for the next day's trading session. You gain access to the opening call. You get that for a month. Opening calls. We got a bunch of great webinars in there as well. Check it out, folks. $295. It's a great value. It will be archived. 7 hours of education in there with Basil Chapman, and quite a market to do it in, folks. Basil's excited. You want to talk about some peaks? We got some peaks all over this market, putting the S&Ps on a daily. How about this zone, as we've now peaked our head above these highs twice? Maybe we'll make a new area. We were consolidating. 3,500 change, 3,200. As we get some vaccine news, we might see a new consolidation. I'll be in there Thursday when I can, checking out what Basil has to say. Look at that Dow climbing towards 30,000. Stay tuned, folks. We got Basil coming up next. Live programming all day at TFNN. We'll be right back, folks.